With everything going on this year, I've been exploring a lot of things for nostalgic reasons. Watching old shows I've already seen a million times, listening to music from the 2010s, retweeting rage comments, and eating way too many SpaghettiOs. Basically, if I was into it at any point prior to the shit show we call 2020, I've been mad hungry for it. So of course, that extends to video games. And what better game to play to escape than one I played in middle school back in 2006? I'm Trusty Dusty, and welcome to RuneScape, a quest for nostalgia. Before we begin, though, we have to answer a question. What is RuneScape? Well, it's a fantasy massive multiplayer online role-playing game, Memorga, developed and published by Jagex, released in January 2001. It has been continually updated since then, and holds a Guinness World Record for the most players for a free MMO. It has 28 skills a player can level up to level 99, 17 of which are available to free-to-play players. There's also, to date, 220 quests for the player to complete between free and member quests. What most people remember playing is what's called RuneScape 2, which ran from 2003 to 2013, shown here. This version of the game was replaced by RuneScape 3 in July 2013. Thankfully, Jagex was conscious that their player base would want to play the original version they remembered, so they released a 2007 build of the game as Old School RuneScape in February 2013. That version of the game is what I started with in November of 2020. I had the eventual goal of beating the one quest I always struggled with back in the day, Demon Slayer. Okay, let's begin. First impressions were a wave of nostalgic energy. This game felt like it hadn't changed a day since I was biking with my two neighborhood buddies up to the local library to play it way back in 2006. The login screen was a moment I remember fondly. It blasting the theme music was pure auditory bliss, and it was exactly what I was looking for. So I logged in and shot through the tutorial island, remembering each step as I went. When I got to Lumbridge, I started mining and smithing, my personal favorite skills to level in this game. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. How come you can't be a blacksmith in most MMOs? Like, when I saw that in Sword Art Online, I was like, they get it! Sure, WoW has some mining and other crafting elements, but it's all kind of pointless because the boss drops are better than anything you can make, even at the later levels. That's usually the case in all these games. Why even have the skill if the reward is met at best? But in Old School RuneScape, the best armor for free players can be made by players. Like, blacksmithing is an actual thing you can do in RuneScape, and it's worth it if you put in the time, because you can sell the armor on the Grand Exchange for over 100k per set. Or make armor and give it to your buddies, or even wear it yourself. Back to the topic at hand, I started mining and smithing to level up those skills. Did that for a few nights worth of playing and was having a decent time running from the mines to the forge to the bank to the mines to the forge to the bank, until I eventually got burned out and wanted to do something else for a while. I decided to start leveling up a magic skill because magic is usually my favorite kind of combat. Shut up, I can like smithing and still want to be a wizard. Anyways, I realized that magic can be extremely expensive if you don't make the runes yourself. So I remember the optimal money route when I was a kid was to farm lobsters. So that's 40 levels of fishing I had to do. I fished for hours, filling an inventory, bringing it to the stove. But I can't use the stove in Lumbridge until I do a quest. Okay, I'll help this cook make a cake for the Duke's birthday. That's probably his job, but whatever. I chased chickens around for a while to get eggs, milk a cow, etc. Okay, Duke, enjoy your cake. What was I doing? Right, I needed to do this quest so I could cook shrimp on this stove. Done. Wow, that's a lot of shrimp. So much shrimp. Cool, now I can put them in the bank. Run back to fish some more. Run to the stove. Run to the bank. Run back to the fishing spot. Alright, level 40 fishing. Woo! Why was I fishing again? Oh right, money. How do I get to the lobsters again? Right, from Port Sarim. Crap, that costs 30 coins. Gotta run back to the bank in Falador to get my money. Sweet, I'm in Karamja. Time to lob it up. Crap, I forgot to bring 30 coins for the return trip. Better teleport to Lumbridge with my lobsters. Put them in the bank. Run to the port with 60! Go this time. Lob, bank, lob, forgot my money again. Teleport, bank. I decide to try selling my haul. Okay, run to the rock to sell on the Grand Exchange. Oh, okay, well this isn't as much as I was expecting, but it should be enough for some runes, right? Oh dear. Anyways, that took a long time, so I should probably eventually get back to mining. Wait, high level ore takes literal minutes to respawn? What the fuck? Moving on to our final topic of discussion, the questing. For the most part, quests in RuneScape are simple affairs with a few dialogue trees, fetch objectives, and occasionally there's combat. When I was a kid, there were two quests I was convinced I'd never be able to finish because the combat levels of the enemies were far too high. Demon Slayer and Dragon Slayer. I decided that in order to be satisfied with it to go with the Demon Slayer, both because it's a lower level quest, and there's a point I want to make in a possible future video about RuneScape 3. Let me summarize Demon Slayer, then I'll explain my feelings about it. You go see Gypsy Eris in a tent in Varrock and ask her to give you a reading. During the reading, it's revealed that a group of cultists are going to summon the demon Delrith, and you're the one who's fated to slay him before he destroys Varrock and perhaps the world. In order to do so, you must acquire the legendary sword Silverlight, and use it and a sacred incantation to seal them away. There's also some pretty funny stuff going on, where the last time Delrith was summoned, he was slain by a warrior named Sir Wally. The game points out that that's not a very heroic name. I actually like that Jagex generally has a comedic edge for most of the quests, and you have the option to be sarcastic or cynical for funny dialogue. Another example of that is when you go to retrieve the sword from the descendant of Sir Wally, he has lost the 3 keys needed to get the sword. So you go off on a mini adventure to get those 3 keys, then you get the sword and slay the demon. Pretty simple stuff. Now, onto my experience in the modern day. One big difference between when I was a dumb kid who was fanboying about this game and afraid to lose everything is that I have the powers of a fully grown up gamer, which is to say I have access to walkthroughs. Using that, this quest became pretty trivial to complete, but I still enjoyed it beat by beat. I smiled at the silliness of the dialogue and the different situations you get in while trying to get the keys. The final battle is pretty epic, even when you're prepared. When I first set out to make this video, I was just in the midst of leveling mining and foraging, and was feeling pretty down on the game. I found the grinding and the slowly running everywhere frustrating. But when I started using the wiki and understood the game a bit better, plus had less nebulous goal than just a level up, the game became very fun. I enjoyed grinding my magic so I could defeat the demon and for the quest much more than just doing it for its own sake. Like I said in the earlier section, I like that the people at Jagex are aware that their game is a little bit silly and inject that humor everywhere in their world. All in all, I think I came away from the experience with a lot of positive feelings, and I think there's something to be said for the simplicity of the mechanics, because it allows for relaxing free time after work that gives continual small rewards. I think RuneScape is as fun as it's ever been. There's a lot of clever game design on display with how many skills end up leading to one another, but also give you options. My lobster example is a great one. I needed runes to cast magic. I chose to fish for lobsters to make money. I could have found an alternative way of making money, or I could have made them runes myself, using the runecrafting skill that members have access to. As an aside, I found out later that mining clay is actually a fantastic way to make money, but nostalgic knowledge blinded me to that fact. I think that there's a way to play it exactly as it was, with a few quality of life or content updates that are voted on by the community. That's actually an interesting topic in and of itself, because any vote only goes through with a certain percentage of votes, so the game won't become too new and different for players like me who come here looking for nostalgia. So I recommend it to anyone who wants to experience a part of their past anew. And I think I could say that this quest for nostalgia is a quest complete. Ugh, sorry. That's pretty lame. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Oh, while you're still here, I wanted to fill you in on some cool information that I found out about this game. Apparently in Venezuela, it's a pretty popular game because there's a lot of people who use it to farm gold in order to make money. Their economy is so terrible that, due to political and other problems, that they've used RuneScape as a way to make money. Jagex is sort of torn on the issue, but I think it's cool that this game isn't just for fun. Like, it's a way that people can escape a bad situation and make life better for them and their families. So that's just like a small little aside that I found out while I was doing research for this video.